Just because we are little people
does not mean that we do not have big dreams.
Yeah, what Doug the Dinosaur said.
Thank you, Green Bear.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for helping introduce this amazing story of Maya Angelou.
I know about her.
What do you know, Green Bear?
She's famous, and she's a writer, and she's done all kinds of really cool stuff.
Yeah, she has. But she was a kid, just like you guys once. And she had a hard time. So this is going to be an excellent roadmap, inspiration, if you will.
Oh, I like inspiration.
For how you can grow up to become a big, important, influential person in your life.
Well, I'm going to be president, so I'm going to be a pretty big deal.
And he told me I'm going to be in his cabinet, so I'll be also a big deal.
Okay, well, whatever you are going to grow up to do, kid, a little inspiration will never hurt because we want to know how other people got to where they got, right? Marguerite was born in the city of St. Louis. You thought I was going to say Maya, don't you? Well, her brother called her Maya. When Maya was 4, she and her brother were sent to live with her grandmother in Stamps, Arkansas. So her name is Marguerite. Her brother calls her Maya. And look at them. Do you think they look happy about this trip to Arkansas, going away from their mom? I don't think so. They look pretty unhappy about it. Well, growing up in the South, Maya was treated unfairly because of the color of her skin and because she was a girl. The world outside could be very cruel. Here they are walking past this general store, and do you see that sign in the window? It says whites only, because when she was growing up in the South, everything was segregated into whites only and then black only things, including stores, water fountains, bathrooms. But it wasn't just the outside world. Home was hard too. When Maya was 8, her mother's boyfriend attacked her. Maya was so upset, she stopped talking.
What? Wait, a grown-up attacked her?
Yeah, isn't that terrible? But you know, sometimes grown-ups, they don't always do the wise thing, and Maya was a poor victim of that.
She had to overcome a lot.
Yeah, and we're not done. She's only 8 years old.
Oh boy, she's very inspiring already.
I know. Look at everything she had to overcome. Well, a friend of her grandmother's named Mrs. Flowers, isn't that a pretty name, Mrs. Flowers, noticed that Maya was afraid to use her voice. Now, what did she do? Well, Mrs. Flowers showed Maya all kinds of wonderful books and how the words come alive when you read them out loud.
Just like you do!
Exactly like I do! I like to make the words come out loud too. Oh, look at this. Look at it. Some kind of a lemonade, blue lemonade thing going on here. It looks like she's having a little bit of espresso, which the storyteller likes very much. Yeah, do we have some chocolate cookies here? Maybe some turtles? Everything looks so nice and pretty in Miss Flower's house. No wonder that she was enjoying reading here. What is she? She's reading poems. Maya found her voice again in the stories and poems of great writers. See, that is the power of books. She loved words so much. Wow! She read every book in the library. That's impressive. You should try that sometime, although it may take a while. Even though Maya was a great student, she was told that she couldn't get a job. Why? Because of the color of her skin. But she had pride and she had hope. And she thought, there is nothing that I can't be. And here's her choir, and they're singing, lift every voice. And she was right. She was a cook and a streetcar conductor. I didn't know that. Ding, ding, ding. She was a dancer, a singer, and an actress. Look how smart she looks up there on the stage. She traveled the world and learned to speak lots of languages.
Like what?
Well, I looked it up, and she spoke English.
Obviously.
Yeah, of course. And she also spoke French.
Oui. Oh, you know who I like that? Gilles the giraffe.
Hey, did someone say that Maya Angelou spoke French? Yes, she did. Are you impressed? I am super impressed. But you know, I expect no less from a woman of letters and poetry. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I digress. She also spoke Italian, Spanish, Hebrew.
Wow, I'm really behind.
I know. I feel that way too when I hear about people speaking that many languages. At home in America, she worked hard to help all people get treated equally. And here she is marching rights for women and stop violence. Oh, and here's a cabaret for freedom, and where people are selling tickets to benefit organizations that she's supporting at the Village Gate Theater. I wonder where that is. It looks kind of New Yorky to me. Now, it wasn't until Maya was all grown up that she decided she wanted to be a writer. So she began writing what? A book about her life. I mean, who else is going to know her story but herself? And obviously, you know, she's already had a very interesting and difficult life. She told the story of a little girl who struggled through hard times but did not give up. People all around the world were moved by her powerful story and her beautiful words. Look at them lining up to have her autograph the copy of the book. Maya became a famous writer, teacher, and speaker, inspiring everyone with her belief that you can be anything you want to be. Wow, look at that. Mom and me and Mom, Maya Angelou. And here's another one of her books, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, and Still I Rise. I read this one, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Wow, that is a beautiful book. It's more for grown-ups, but maybe when you're grown up one day, you can read it. On the day Bill Clinton became president, Maya, look at her right there, read a poem. Look at that, in Washington, D.C. She had once been a little girl who was afraid to use her voice. Now she was speaking to the entire country about her favorite thing, hope. And here we have an actual photo of Maya when she was a little girl. Here when she was an actress. Here in 1971, in this phase of her life, she was writing books. And here, and this is how most of us remember her in her later years, it says that Maya Angelou, born Marguerite Annie Johnson in St. Louis, Missouri, spent much of her childhood in a small town in the South, and where she faced the unfairness because of her skin color. Do you know that she stopped speaking for 5 years after that attack by her mother's boyfriend? That's very sad when you hear about children being attacked by grown-ups. It does happen, and we always have to speak out about that kind of thing. Now, in that time, the good thing is that she turned her struggle into something positive by turning to books and literature. And she overcame her struggles and led a marvelous life. She became a dancer, a singer, an actress, a writer, a director, a journalist, a playwright, a producer, a teacher, an activist for civil rights. She performed in nightclubs. And she turned the memories from her childhood into a book called I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings that sold millions of copies around the world, including the one that I read. And she read her poems at the White House, at the United Nations, and people everywhere are still inspired by her amazing life. So that is how a little person with a big dream still managed to accomplish so much in her life, even though she had a difficult childhood. Yeah, you know, not every kid has an easy childhood.
Yeah, that's really rough to read about, storyteller. I'm not gonna lie, not gonna sugarcoat it. It was kind of tough.
It is tough because we always want to think that kids are always being well taken care of.
Yeah, because that's how it should be.
It should be that way, but it doesn't always happen that way, unfortunately, in life. But even though it doesn't happen, you can still grow up to be someone who lives a vibrant, full, fascinating, and positive life that leaves an impact on people.
Wow, that was really nice what you said.
Yeah, sometimes she gets kind of poetic.
Yeah, I like that.
And I hope that you liked the book about Maya Angelou and found it fascinating, and maybe it'll inspire you to read a little poetry.
Yeah, new goal set for the year. Read every book in the library. Gotta go.
Oh, he'll do it too. He's a very determined green bear.
Yes, he is. Well, Doc, thank you for joining me on reading this story.
Yeah. Oh, and thank you, kid, for joining us and reading this story with us about Maya Angelou. Can we read some of her poetry now?
Sure, we can go do that now. And see you next time, kid, on Hit It.
KidTime StoryTime. I really like her.